I'm originally from the Northwest, grew up in Dallas, and I moved back up here in 1969, finished college, and have been up this area ever since then. I love the Northwest. I'm a homemaker, two grown kids, one grandson who's almost 2, another one on the way. One of my passions is Arabian horses. I've been an equestrian involved with horses virtually all my life. My family, my faith, do some ministry work, and that's a big part of my life. Oh, and I garden. I have a beautiful yard with lots of flowers. It was in December 11 and a half years ago. It was invasive ductal carcinoma. Originally we thought it was stage 3. It was also HER2 positive, but after some treatment and looking for further, more tests, they found that it was stage 4, that it had metastasized to a number of different places. I was diagnosed at Overlake Hospital, and they immediately wanted to do surgery and start chemo. And I kind of thought, whoa, let's just slow down here a little bit. And I wanted to get some other input, and that's when I went to see Dr. Chen, and he said he didn't think, his philosophy was, let's not do surgery initially, and let's just see if we can get it all with chemo. And we did, and I'm glad I didn't have surgery. And I always baffle everybody I go to, and I go for mammograms, and they know I've had cancer, and they want to know, well, where did I have surgery? And I said I didn't. And they are just totally floored. They don't get that you can be treated for cancer and not have to have mastectomies, or at least a lumpectomy. Well, naturally I'm shocked. You never think it's going to happen to you. But I'm not a worrier by nature, and I'm really proactive too. It's like, okay, let's take care of it. And I had seen commercials on TV for the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, and I had liked their approach, their more integrated approach. And so I had always said in the back of my mind, if I ever have cancer, this is someplace I'd like to go. And of course, Dr. Chen was working there at the time. And then I talked to one of my doctors who's really savvy about health. He's environmental medicine, and I trust his opinion. And I asked him what he thought about this more integrated approach, and he said that he would recommend doing that. And so I did, and I'm glad I started there. I know a lot of Dr. Chen's patients started other places because they're maybe better known, they're the standard. Then they come to him later on, and I don't know that I would have had a later on. I'm glad I started there when I did, because we hit it hard and we hit it the right way. And I do believe an integrated approach is important. When you're doing chemo, you obviously are killing some good cells in your body, and to do everything you can through diet, moderate exercise, supplements, to build up and help your body fight the cancer and counteract the negative effects of chemo. I also really believe in the once-a-week low-dose approach that Dr. Chen takes, because I think it is much easier on you. I can remember when I had cancer and people would say, oh, can I come and sit with you in the hospital while you're having cancer? And I thought, well, first of all, I'm not in the hospital. Second of all, I don't need anybody to sit with me. It's not that big a deal. I can take a nap or read or visit with other patients. People are so used to people going to the hospital and having traumatic, difficult 2 or 3 days of heavy chemo, and it was nothing like that. And I'd drive myself down there, be there for 3 hours or so, drive home. Felt fine the first day, and then maybe the second day or so, or third day, it kind of hit me. Had a couple rough days, and then I felt fine again. I think that approach is a lot easier on people's bodies, and emotionally too. You don't feel that horrible. I mean, you feel horrible sometimes. I'm not going to make it sound like it's a breeze, but nothing like what a lot of people experience. And I had 9.5 months of that weekly the first time, with 1 or 2 little breaks a week off just to kind of regroup. I virtually had absolutely no sugar. That was the big thing, and I am a sugar addict. And the fact that I could do it is nothing, almost a miracle, because I really love sugar. But when I knew my life was on the line, it wasn't that big a battle. It's like, I just can't do this. That was the number one most important big thing. And then I also had very little meat. Meat is inflammatory. Chemo can deplete you of your protein, so you need to have some protein. But red meats and certain things I avoided. I was in remission for 6 years, feeling good, life going on as usual. And I would go in monthly for a check, blood work, he'd feel lymph nodes and things. And 1 month, my tumor markers shot up. And of course, your heart skips a few beats, and your throat's in your stomach, and you're like, oh no. And so we had some further testing, and it had come back. But this time it wasn't HER2 positive, which is kind of unusual, but it was, again, stage 4. It was in the bones, liver. And the second time, I only had to have 3.5 months of chemo, and we got it again. And Dr. Chen had said, well, I don't know if we can completely heal you, but we can get you in remission. I had the most interesting reaction the second time. When I found out I had cancer again, and this may sound kind of weird, but it's what happened, I was filled with joy. And I remember meeting with a group of people that I pray for other people with a prayer team, and telling them I had cancer, and they said, well, oh, that's so bad, how are you feeling? And I kind of giggled, and I said, this is weird, but I just feel joy, because I just feel like God is going to do something, and it's going to be good, and I get to be a part of it, and I just can't wait to see what's going to happen. And I'm sure they kind of thought, wow, is she in denial, or what's going on? But it was a very honest feeling. I was just like, boy, this is going to be interesting. And I had such peace the whole time, just knowing that it was God had it in His hands, it was under control. And as I say, not everybody has the kind of faith I have, and I respect that, but this was real for me. And I knew I was going to get better. And often Dr. Chen has said, this isn't your miracle. He takes some credit for how well I've done. Now it's been almost 5.5 years since the second time. But he really believes that there was something else besides just amazing medical care. I've always described the kind of care I've gotten from Dr. Chen as a boutique rather than a department store. And you get that special feeling like with a boutique where you're important, you may be the only person there. That's how you feel. I would say don't even think about going anywhere else. Don't listen to all your friends that say you've got to go to this place or that place because it's the best known, well-known place. Think for yourself. Think outside the box. If necessary, get 2 or 3 opinions. Talk to 2 or 3 different doctors and choose for yourself, not just because it's the popular standard approach, but look into it and see what Dr. Chen has to offer that's unique and different before you make up your mind. Don't panic. Don't think you have to just immediately make a decision. Take a deep breath. Think it through. And also know that your attitude is a big part of the whole thing, because our mind and our thoughts and our emotions have an impact on our whole health and body. And if we are depressed, if we are anxious, if we're struggling in those ways, we're not going to heal as well as fast. So, and I'm not talking about just positive thinking, I mean, yeah, that's fine. But for me, it was trusting something bigger than myself, trusting God, and keeping a sense of humor. Have fun with it. Laugh about it. You know, we used to have fun in chemo. We'd joke about, you know, our bald heads or whatever it was. You know, you can have a life and have cancer and hold on to that life. Enjoy it, make the most of it. Cancer is not the worst thing in the world that can happen to you. There's emotional devastation that's so much worse than something that can happen to your body. So just keep it in perspective. The life expectancy of the kind of cancer I had is 2 years. So what do they know?